Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our run as Great Qing, Big Market. Last episode we tripled construction, and this episode we'll be suffering the consequences of our actions. So, this is not a sustainable drain on the investment pool. Our only hope is that we are able to build into this. I think we will be able to build into this, but this is going to involve us maybe going up to like 800 million GDP to 900 million GDP over the course of this episode. Maybe even try and double GDP in this episode. That would be quite the come up. The goal kind of for this run right now is getting to 1 billion GDP, but the meme part of me kind of wants to get a single province up to 1 billion GDP, which I don't think I've ever done before, except in like 1.0 where GDP was calculated differently / incorrectly. And so it would be really nice if we can get to 1 billion GDP here in Jiangxi, which maybe we're going to try and do. Which is going to involve building out a whole lot more here specifically, and so I think we're going to try and do a bit of that. We are going to need a lot of railroads here in order to facilitate that, but we are encouraging, construction here. So man is every point of construction we put in here is super efficient because we get the road maintenance construction efficiency, so that's 10%, and we also are getting the construction efficiency from all these construction centers, so that's 37%, and on top of that, when we do build a building, it is going to get a 20% throughput bonus from encouraging manufacturers. So it is big nice, and maybe what we're doing with this run is shifting, and we're instead going to be doing a little bit of that. We are trying to put down this colonization thing, so we're just going to be off and away, and kind of what we are doing in terms of expansion plan right now is we are going to look to, first of all, we want our infamy to be decaying, and so we're going to look for a relatively large infamy war following this. Oh no, our guys didn't get there in time. Following us putting this down, which we assuredly will, we are going to want to annex a lot of small powers to lower the average prestige, which is in turn going to make these guys smaller, which is going to allow us to protectorate them. Notably, a lot of these guys over here, we can't protectorate because they're defending the borders, but if they ever come off it, then we will be able to go after it. We unlock civilizing mission, and I think we're going to change our strategy here. So rotary valve engines sucks as a tech. We were going it so we could go ahead of time on combustion engine, but I think we're just going to go ahead of time on malaria prevention instead, and you see like 10 years. Well, we're looking to blast and cruise mainly through our tech spread, and our tech spread is about as fast as our active research. Maybe this is just a little bit too fast ahead of time, but man, oh man, do we want this. Well, I mean, we're going to get all the colonization anyways. Maybe this is just like hubris here. Maybe we do stick with rotary valve engine and go rotary valve into electrical generation into combustion engine into capacitors, something like this. Also looks pretty good, so maybe we stick at this. We'll be off. And hey, we finally get there with our 6 troopies, and they'll be putting that down relatively quick. We have demobilized our guys in the interim, and we have a revolution brewing for total separation, so that's fine. Who's Dengzi? So, more than happy for... Actually, I think we want the trade unionists to come on up, and we do like the trade unionist bonus, but I guess we'll just take a look. We have the industrialist bonus locked in. The literati we do not have, and we would get this minus society tech cost. I think we actually want that because we are not going to get up to the workforce ratio, so we're going to boost up this faction, so his intergroup approval should go up. He is Dengzia. What? Is it? It's supposed to go up. Where's your approval? Okay, well, fine, fair enough. We get an agitator to go for wage subsidies, which is a bit interesting. We get another nihilist. Perfect. We would like to put the nihilist in charge of the literati right now, because this guy's a royalist instead of a nihilist, but more than happy to have these guys. They are not doing a movement towards what exactly we would want, but I think that's because so we can the guy just came and now he's looking to settle down. That's fine, I guess. So I think that, well, we can juice him up, by paying him a ton of money. I think we'll just let him retire and we get some interest group attraction, and we're super fine with this. We do want these guys to eventually be on the 20% life, and the Confucian scholars, they will be super kneecapped once we get total separation, and this is like a key like inflection point, which is going to allow us to pass a whole bunch of stuff. We see this, we see it because we have eyes, and we're going to do that to take care of it. Normally we don't have eyes, but this time we have eyes. But this is kind of what's going on right now. It says we're making money, it lies. We're actually like hemorrhaging money, but you know, the investment pool drainage isn't real. It can't hurt you. So I think we're going to take a look and reevaluate some trade routes and this sort of thing. And so I think it's worth talking about every once in a while when we do it. We are doing it quite often behind the scenes, but we're just going to talk about it. So a lot of our exports are starting to become not as profitable. So we're going to do this, kind of looking at productivity a little bit. We don't hate importing from these guys. It is increasing the trade routes, but we're just going to bop them anyways, and we're just looking at which are the least productive ones, and we're going to get rid of them with a couple caveats. We actually want to be doing more trade volume with Portugal, and we want to depress the price of our grain and meat, so we're going to keep these unproductive ones in. We care less about wine specifically, and we don't necessarily need a huge trade volume with Qing, so we're going to get rid of that one and get rid of this trade route. I think that will be good for kind of a little bit of pruning action. And then what we're going to do is on the imports, we are going to want to import all of the agrarian ones pretty aggressively, as well as resource industries. In particular, we haven't been importing resource industries that much. What it does is it does increase the price of the resources in the markets you're importing from, in addition to just being productive, which will in turn encourage them to build more of this stuff. And also it's going to make some of our industries more profitable. Now it's going to make some of them less profitable. Like our coal industries are really, really profitable right now. Their profits are going to go down. The steel ones will go up though. And so overall it's a little bit of a wash, because it's both capitalist ones that are, you're trading around the profit between the capitalists, which is fine. What you don't want is you don't want to trade profits from capitalists to agrarian-oriented ones, because they don't give as much to the IPT, but we are kind of reaching a point where the IPT becomes less of a consideration, which is around 800 million GDP, and so, we are going to want to start building agrarian buildings at some point soon-ish, just not over our rice farms specifically. But anyways, a little bit of a digression. We're going to, put import routes in on resources now as a little bit of a change in our inflection point, and we are going to go for agrarian stuff, and we are looking for routes that are going to get relatively large and preferably not be too much on the convoys. We are going to look to, and we want to increase volume of trade with a lot of different boyos because we are trying to pull them into our market, but we're just going to do this for the coffee. For dyes, we're going to import from a lot of these boyos. A lot of these are productive, and we do have an enormous glut of bureaucracy, so we will do a little bit more. Do care about the convoys a little bit, don't want to run too much, and also the productivity is going to shift. We're going to skip over engines and explosives, because these are things we would want to export, although specifically the British do have a bunch of cheap explosives. We are going to not do that one, because this will depress the price of explosives in our country, which will cause our chemical plants to employ even less. Currently they are having trouble reaching max employment because fertilizer is so cheap. But let's come back here, and we're going to do all of this for this. But for example, what I mean by if we could export fabric profitably, right, what it would be doing is effectively passing profits from the capitalists, because the capitalists would have been making, it's passing profit from the capitalists because clothing uses fabric as an input, and it's passing it to the agrarian buildings, because when you build over, it's passing it to the agrarian buildings because we're increasing the price of fabric, which is going to make all the agrarian buildings like the cotton plantations more profitable, and it's going to make less profitable, our clothing industries, and so you're passing profits from capitalists to agrarian guys, which is not what you want to do. Fish is capitalist owned, but eventually we're going to be gated, so we do want other people to produce fish, and so this part is more about just like getting productive trade routes / increasing the profit of our grocer / encouraging these people to build out fish, because we cannot control how much fish the rest of the world builds out except through like this means. We're going to do this again with these guys and with these already importing a lot of grain, but now we are going to start importing resources. We see the bigger trade routes. We're going to kind of do those first, and then the productive trade routes here. We're going to do the same with iron, except we can't. People are actually importing iron from us, but we're going to import some lead. We actually haven't blasted too much lead, so this makes sense. In particular, sulfur has one of the best PMs, so I almost never like to import it. We're actually just going to build a bunch of sulfur to solve that sulfur problem. We're going to check out the meat. You know what I mean? And this sort of thing. And we will... so opium's also pretty productive, and we wouldn't mind... well, we don't mind getting these guys in our market, so we're just going to do these interior guys if it's really profitable. But other than that, not doing as much... these guys we want to increase trade volume with, right? And so we'll do these guys specifically on the opium, but other than that, we will not import the opium, because we, as far as all the ones go, we mine that a whole lot less. I guess we'll peel that off from Austria, although we do get a bonus for that, and we will import sugar from all these boyos, who have very depressed sugar prices, which is why we can do this, but... we'll do some of this action. This one will probably not be profitable after prices adjust, but that's fine. It's not too big a deal. We are trying to decrease the price of this stuff so that our own queue doesn't build it as much. And so this is kind of the way. And we have 2 more to go. We are now importing resources a little bit more than we were before. Because kind of a little bit of an inflection point. And now we have all this. What we're going to do is we're going to also look to export everything that's like capitalist owned, but we will do that kind of, you know, more behind the scenes, because we talked through the thought process. But this will increase the price of all our capitalist buildings, or of all the outputs of them, which should make them more profitable, and which will increase the dividends, which will increase how much they pay out in the investment pool. So this is the main like differential between, you know, capitalist and agrarian owned buildings. Let's go. So we declared war on Sind to annex them, which was our subject that gave us the most infamy, because we were at 0 infamy, and we wanted to accrue some infamy, because if you're not using your infamy decay, you're losing it. And our longtime rival Russia joined against us. Now they weren't, sorry, our longtime rival, our longtime ally Russia joined against us. Now they weren't our ally at the start of this play. I forget exactly when this ended. We can of course call in a whole bunch of people with whom we have obligations. We can also call in some people with whom we don't have obligations. And we might be doing this, but I think what we're going to do here is we need a little bit of time to allow our interests to develop here, because we put in a bunch of interests, but we are going to be who is this that sided with them? So this war almost always pops off because Russia abandoned them. Damn, that's unfortunate. That's super sad. We were hoping to do some stuff. And we just full mobilized, so now we just eat the full mobilization. They just like toot it and boot it. Man, Diplo in this game is absolutely fantastic. So now we just have to eat. And our customs union with this boyo gets broken. Now we won't be able to subjugate or do anything to this guy because we don't have a way in. Otherwise we might subjugate this guy, which is a bit unfortunate. We're still bankrolling him, which is kind of lolsy. We actually hope that maybe someone also joins with this. Luckily there's no additional war goal on us for this, but can we maybe sway? No, we can't sway them out. Unfortunate, because they really hate our guts now. Laws progressed to ascent, so we're just getting pretty good rolls here. But yeah, we're going to be annexing Sind. I thought it was going to be a big war, and we were going to go after Ukraine and Perm and stuff, but that's not what's going to happen here. So the pain train has finally arrived. Our investment pool is not fully paying out as quickly as possible, and instead we see a little bit of overflow going towards government construction, so we're picking up the tab on a lot of this, and the investment pool is only shrinking by 55k instead of like 800k, which means we are now eating a whole bunch of this, but I think we can build into this. We will probably go to around maybe 75% deficit, so this is going to be a little bit of spooky. We will have to keep an eye on, in particular, if we can... we will do this one. We will keep an eye on, well, we wish we could get the petite bourgeoisie demarginalized, actually, because it would be very, very nice to get their decreased loan interest rate. We have also put in a whole bunch of, we want to get the canals finished, that way we don't have to spend as much on port connections, and we annex Sind, so we're going to immediately pause and do the things. Who's this trade agreement with Juniper? Sure, why not? And this guy who went against us previously, we're going to try and get him on our team now. And what's this going? Subjugate Oyo? Fair enough. I know Pontiac is being gone after. But look, the landing is coming in here. Maybe we can enforce on Pontiac. Currently, Spain is going after them, but Spain is landing the wrong guy, my guy. And it doesn't look like they even succeeded this landing, but if they're going to continue to land the Dutch East Indies, we can snake this out from under them and just conquer this ourselves, which will be pretty nice. And so I think we're going to do this. It also gives a decent chunk of infamy. We are currently sitting on really low infamy, as in we were on 0. And so we'll just look to conquer them in. We should be able to get a landing, this sort of thing, and then if Spain conquers them first, then I guess we're sad. But I think we should be able to get them down first, given that Spain is trying to land the wrong person here. And hopefully we get this, we're going to see if we can get this total separation tick here. Well, actually, it's a little ways off. Well, we're coming up on it now, but really hoping for it. It will help out a lot because it'll specifically distribute a lot of, like, what is this? We're not the Dutch East Indies, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. We're not the Dutch East Indies. Unfortunate on the tick, but we should be able to get in on Pontiac, so that'll be a good yard. So Russia sides against us again, and this time we're paused, because, you know, we know that they're very likely to decide it's not worth it, and we can't let them keep getting away with it. I think we're going to shellac Russia here. We do only have 4 infamy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look to do something that's like kind of reasonable. We're going to try and transfer Oregon. I think that this will be a decent way to accumulate a little bit of infamy before we start going after smaller guys again, because if you're not using your infamy decay, you're losing it. And Oregon, the land here is like fine enough. It's actually pretty good if I recall correctly. It's not like, well, okay, whatever. This isn't the point. The point is we're getting a little chunk of infamy. I think this is the best chunk of infamy we can take, rather than taking states from Russia ourselves, because there's no state we really, really, really want. So we're going to transfer Oregon. But then now that we have a war goal on Russia, they can't leave. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to liberate a bunch of countries from them, starting with Perm, which is the one we most want to liberate, and now we only have enough, well, let's see, so we can either go for war reps, or we can liberate another country. I think I like liberating this country up here, just because we will get nicer looking borders, so we're gonna, yeah, it's Kamchatka. Also, generally speaking, we don't really need pops. Liberating Ukraine gives a lot of pops, and less so resources. This place, if I recall correctly, has a decent number of resources, so we're going to liberate them as well. And then we're all out of maneuvers here. And so that'll kind of be our war, but we will full mobilize, and we will activate conscripts in a couple areas, because this will be a little bit of a sticky war. You know, Russia's going to get it on their face, but it will be sticky, and so we will kind of have a little bit of go at them. We're going to assign most of the bigger ones to this front, and then we're going to look to have ourselves a little bit of a rumble here. Hopefully no one else joins against us, and these 2 other battalions are going to be used to land Pontiac, I think, because we do want to get that in quickly before Spain gets it. But now we have a decent amount of infamy that's decaying, that was kind of spent in a useful way, and then we can kind of be a little bit more free to annex our subjects and look to decrease the count of countries in the world, so we can decrease the average, so that it will be easier for us to customs union people. Ooh, we can customs union Spain. Oh, an obligation? Probably. This is probably worth... Maybe we just wait for the bankroll. Yeah, we'll just wait for the bankroll to come in. We have obligations on several people, but a lot of them are defending the borders, so we can't protectorate them. If there's... Oh my god, we could have protectorated Argentina for some infamy. I think we might do it now anyways, but... we will owe them an obligation, but then they will be our subjects, so it won't matter much. So they will be protectorate us. Whoa, a little bit of lag. Let's start damaging relations after this and stop bankrolling them. And so they will be our protectorate. We'll be going after them, and etc. Mostly etc. And going after Russia here. So unfortunately, it looks like the ramp up took sufficiently long that Spain managed to handle the Dutch East Indies and is now getting in on Pontiac before we do. Unless we manage to pull a really, really sneaky, but this battle's going to end soon in just a sec. And so, oh, trade agreement from these boyos. Maybe we can get them back in the customs union as they were. We would owe them an obligation. I don't think we want to owe obligations anymore, especially because we can bankroll, and we are bankrolling them currently. And so, yeah, we will have a bit of a fight with Russia. We are starting to ramp up enormously the level of conscription that we have. We're going to double check that we do have another general slot. Royalist, can we get a reformer in this bizzle? And then we will also, yeah, another reformer, and then what else can we do? A Republican, sure. We will promote one of these guys, probably this guy, and we will assign a couple of these guys to the front, and we will land with a couple of them in, we're still going for Pontiac, but I anticipate it won't be successful, so kind of a little bit of a waste here. But we will go for Nalanji and this guy to try and go on Russia's capital, and then whichever one gets in, we'll promote. They're very likely to get in, but maybe they don't. If they don't, we can just reland. This will be fine. We are facing a little bit of a big boy Russia. I think that they are on similar military PMs, and we didn't really conscript kind of as early as maybe should have, so this is a mistake, but I think we get in here. Now, yep, so here's the thing. Here's the rub. Ooh, wait, is it the rub? Oh, so we occupy half of them now? But here's the thing, is the Spanish troops will get kicked out of here, right? Because they can't just stay in the HQ and defend, because this game is reasonable. And then, let's see. Yeah, he'll stand down. But what can happen then is the Dutch East Indies can get in, unless they just win this landing now, which like they have 2-1, so they might be able to just win this landing now. Or is this defense? Wait, why is this defense? Why are you defending? Oh, it's pushing to the right. Got it. I think we'll take the setback for the well, actually, I don't think we want the minus authority. We'll stay focused on the law. Stay focused on the law, my guys. But if they manage to land, that'd actually be oh, Dutch East Indies win. And so, does that mean we get a little bit more of a chunk? Maybe we do. We'll have to watch this with great interest, I suppose. But we do have this coming in, so one of our guys gets bricked. Probably 2 get bricked here, huh? I guess we're gonna see exactly how that goes. Someone's getting wrecked. Nope, 2 did not get bricked, and you get promoted because you were successful. And these guys, we'll reassign some of these guys. I think that, well, so Pontiac now is not landable, right? Yeah, not landable at all. I think we're just going to land our little 6 stack over here, which is kind of amusing, but it will give us some territory. And now we're pushing in on Russia, so we should be able to enforce without too much difficulty, other than just the pain and misery of having a native uprising in the course of things. So now I think we're just going to, well, we're going to move this guy over at some point. And so maybe, ooh, now, Pontiac's back. We back, baby. Okay. So, we're gonna navally land with our smallest boyo here, with the under the assumption that, you know, we are gonna get bricked. This guy will come over here. No. Yeah. No. We're gonna move him over here, because even though we have a huge advantage now, it's because everyone's moving off of this front over to here, so, while they're in transit. Oh, we have a ton of excess bureaucracy because we decided to build that up. Not enough to up our institution, though, but I do think we have enough now to survey Panama, which is what we wanted to do. Our kingdom to get Egypt diplomatically, to be honest, TBH. But now, how far are we? We're so far from enforcing on Russia. Okay, fair enough. But we are on the capital, and so we are making progress. And so I think we will be able to get this relatively short order. We can protectorate Ireland for 5.5 infamy, so we will do that. Game's getting a little laggy here, though. We will immediately start damaging relations, and we weren't even bankrolling them hot. We just gave them an obligation, which of course they won't be able to use, other than the fact that we can't declare war on them immediately, but we're not anywhere close to like wanting to do that. We do have this Sotho secession brewing. We already put in the guys over there, so that shouldn't be a problem for that. And total separation's coming along. We have actually, well, it's coming along, but we have like we have low rolled so many times here. Wow, that's a huge tick. But we're getting pretty close to enforcing over here, at least on Pontiac specifically, which we have landed, and it looks like we will be getting them, you know, out from under Spain going for them, which is kind of amusing, because Spain couldn't full occupy them. Otherwise, like, yeah, they should have been able to do it, but they couldn't. And we enforce on them. So now we get this, which is not the best, but it's also not the worst. It does have some gold, but most importantly, it is getting rid of, you know, kind of one of these tiny little countries, which helps us to incorporate other guys into customs union better. I think we're gonna land. We freed up one guy. Where's the guy? This guy right up here. And so we will just land him, I think, up here. Just looking to kind of spread out their forces a little bit. We have like this up here that we're going after. It looks like the US might be going after Oregon anyways. Hopefully they don't enforce before we do. We do have kind of a long way to go in terms of enforcement, because they are just not a fan of this. But I mean, we are kind of stuck in on them pretty well. We're gonna stretch across here. We're gonna make a new front over here and just like push in, and so I think we get here, but maybe this Oregon play was like not the play, you know what I'm saying? I don't. So we just passed separation of church and state, or total separation, and so we haven't unpaused yet, but I'm guessing, yeah, there's the collapse of the clout. It just drops by 3% immediately, and it's going to continue to drop precipitously, which means our literati is quite strong, and we want to make a play, and we've kind of wanted to for a while. We also unlock elastic, so we're going to have to do the rubber thing, but we'll do that behind the scenes. But we were wanting to go to Parliamentary Republic. Now, this will radicalize... Oh, it radicalizes the literati. I guess we might not do it, because it radicalizes the literati. We could go public schools. The trade unions do like that, so that's kind of free. And if it's free, it's for me. That would be a good one. We really... So monarchy's cramping our style here. If we got on to Parliamentary Republic, we would be able to do something... We could get off of oligarchy onto something else. This will make the scholar officials a little bit mad. Man, we're just rolling really low roll ideologies. Yeah, we got the authoritarian rural folk. I mean, we could do it through them, but it's kind of looking for a little bit of more of a layup type of law pass here that we could do that's useful. I guess proportional taxation. We want to retry this actually, like really bad. And this will make the rural folk or the scholar officials mad, but so what? If we can get the rural folk in to pass this, this would be really nice. I doubt that we can make a legitimate government with the rural folk, though. Unacceptable. You're telling me. And so, yeah, maybe we reset to this and we just do it with these guys. The armed forces kind of have a low chance, though, is the thing. But it does make these guys happier, or it will. Yeah, we'll try for this again. We did get bricked off of it before, which was kind of super not ideal. Hopefully we don't get bricked off of it again, because we only have 8%. And immediately, these guys want to restore state religion, which is nice, because it bricks other revs from happening. And these guys are never going to get that through, and their clout's going to, you know, drop into nothingness. We are continuing with this Russia war. Not much has happened. You know, they still don't want to capitulate. We are trying to get in a couple more spots. We are making ground, and so we will get there eventually. But the question is are we enforcing on them faster? Because I think that... sure, why not? I think that we are, they don't need anything on us, right? So we have to make sure that they are decaying faster than us, which they are. We're trying to get in another spot down here. Just open up another front, look to peel them open. and try and enforce before US. Well, I guess the USA war, whatever it was, is now over. So Oregon's going to be coming our way, it looks like. And yeah, things are going good. And we're making money. What the hell? Oh, because we have to put in, yeah, we got to put in our construction. All right, we're going to put in more construction. We're going to also decrease the authority spending and this sort of thing. So we get electricity here, which represents a pretty big inflection point because we will be going electric sawmills. Excellent PM. And it also opens up the door for other things. I mean, we will get electric streetlights probably turned on next. We don't really need labor-saving PMs, but electric fences is a really good one. So we might be turning that on. Russia's still holding out. They're holding out for a hero. But I don't think it's going to work out too well for them. But we'll just 51 a power plant here in the capital. We will add a few more, you know, what's this at the front of the queue of these. We already have a decent amount of infrastructure, and then we're going to find a couple other places to maybe 51 of the things. So we're gonna look, where do we have a lot of labor? Southern Anhui has a lot, so we're gonna have 51 there, and Chongqing has a lot. Where is that at? Chongqing. All right, so we're gonna do this, and then also at the front of the queue. Hate the interface. Just put up a whole bunch of these, and then we're also going to make these auto expand, and we will have a nice little, this should be enough energy to like really start ramping up a whole lot of what we're doing. And in regards to the Russia war, we're just like weighting them down. We still have 15 infamy, so we're still making good use of the infamy decay. The fronts have been assigning really funny over here, kind of par of the course in this region. And we do need to make a decision. I think we're going to go for a combustion engine. I think overall it's more powerful. Actually, I think in the context of like our run specifically, electrical capacitors might be better. So we're going to do that. We definitely want to be going ahead of time on techs because we will be not spreading like all the other techs, which is why we have such a high level university, and we're going to bump it up even more here, which is quite a bit. We are benefiting more from, we're getting more technology from the tech spread, and so we do want to be making good use of it. Also, it is increasing the power of the Intelligentsia, which will be helpful overall. Especially coming out, like, once we get this is, like, so late in the game to be getting proportional, but we failed the one pass, and then, like, you know, you're in another pass, and then, like, blah, 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 etc., mostly, etc., and so, we would love for the rural folk. Ooh, we could do this with the rural folk. The rural folk will pass it quite a bit better. We'll have another 10% here. So why don't we do this? And now we will have a much better chance on the proportional. And then, yeah, still waiting on these guys to, like, decide that, you know, it's not worth it. And, of course, the front over here just got massacred by, like, stuff. And so we're gonna have to reclaim it. Luckily, we have 3 generals here now, so this should be wind up pretty quick, and we should be able to enforce on them. And also, standoff in Panama. Oh, I forgot we actually own Panama. We did the Panama... we finished the survey, and then I was like, alright, we'll get Panama at some point. We actually already own it, because Big Brain Hour. And so we will be working on it. We'll put it on subsidized, so that it subsidizes. And looks like Russia threw in the towel here. And so we will be looking to get these guys into our market. Ooh, we could take on their debt immediately. Let's do that. And bankroll these. These guys are fairly resource rich, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't double check for these guys, but if I'm, yeah, decent amount of resources here. Yeah, definitely decent amount. Very solid. And so we will be looking to get them into our customs union eventually. And we can take like one province here or something, or release someone here to brick, well, the little side of their customs union. But anyways, I think we're going to conclude the episode here. We did crank up the GDP about 50%, had a really big come up. This was largely off the back of like the construction we put in last episode. It's starting to like, we're at minus $1 million, but we did lose two consumption taxes here. So maybe we can actually just do this to kind of ease the burden a little bit, because we did lose 2 consumption taxes, and the Intelligentsia, I think, are relatively happy. Well, I guess they're not relatively happy, but so this is going to be ease the burden a little bit. We're also running some negative authority, and so it is a little bit uncomfortable, but we are building into it now. It looks like. a bit. Again, as I predicted, we'd probably go to 3/4 deficit, building on this 3.5k construction, but we also had like a pretty big war with Russia this episode, or relatively big, that tested our mettle a little bit, and now our guys should be winding down soon, or we will be able to wind. Oh, we forgot to do the elastics thing. We will do the elastics thing. In fact, we're going to do the elastic things right here, right now. We're going to expand a whole bunch of these rubber plants, and then where do we have the most labor? We're going to do like one in a bunch place where we have a bunch of labor, and then specifically we're going to turn it on in the capital here, because we do have the extra throughput here, which should, of course, catapult the price into the stratosphere, but then stuff will start adjusting, get auto-queuing, and this sort of thing. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. This is an updated version or vision of the market as it stands right now. Been making some more money moves, just continuing to like small ball expand. This Oregon was quite a bit of dirt, and this will be a nice annex later on when we want to you know, have something that has a decent amount of infamy. It'll give us 9 infamy to annex them, so that'll be nice, and we'll also of course be able to colonize there, so that'll be cool. We've actually bricked the manifesting of destiny as well, but yeah, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, etc., mostly etc., and other than that, have a good day.